Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sky Taylor and this is Homeschool of Chaos. So today I want to go over what our plan is for this upcoming school year and go over some of the curriculum that we're going to use. I really hate the word curriculum. We don't use the open and go kind. This is my own curriculum. This took me a while to plan because it took me a while to figure out what our homeschool motto is going to be for the year. And I've been thinking a lot about it over the last few weeks, and the thing that is most important to me and to our family is the relationships that we have with one another. No matter what happens, as long as we are putting our relationships first and our love for each other first, then nothing else matters. The one thing that I want my kids to take away from their time learning at home, however long or short it might be, is to have independence and make and achieve their own goals in life. There are some things that I might need to tell myself from time to time because I often have doubts and wonder if I'm doing the right thing and always question every step that I'm taking and if I'm doing enough. And I think that a lot of homeschool moms or moms in general probably think that way. So I made a list of things that I can tell myself throughout the year when I'm having doubts. This is not public school. It does not need to look like it. I love the flexibility of homeschool. Allow it to be flexible. Core subjects and bookwork are not the most important things in our home education. Don't get caught up in what I think others expect. When classroom time isn't working, switch it up. Take it to a different room, outside, or to the park. Some days it's even okay to just call it a day. There are no minimum hours or minimum days that we are required to adhere to. So if we are having a bad day, it's okay to take the day off. Be on the lookout for learning opportunities outside of the classroom. They are everywhere. Catch as many as you can. Let the kids be hands-on. I need to keep my hands to myself and stop trying to do everything for them. Instead of demonstrating an entire project, give the instructions to Caroline and let us figure it out together. Now, for our actual curriculum and what we're gonna do, we have a no plan, which means I'm not going to plan out anything ahead of time and have a lesson prepared for them. I don't know who has time for that. We're gonna have 2 hours of core learning and 2 hours of unschool or free learning. In that 2 hours of core learning, they're gonna be able to pick whatever they want to do in their school book, and then in the rest of it, they can pick whatever learning that they want to do, whatever sparks of curiosity they might have. So for our family, something that I wanted to learn about, this is honestly kind of just, this is my curriculum. The world is something that I want to focus on. The world, geography, maps, culture, and just learning about all the parts of our beautiful planet. And maybe someday we'll be able to travel to some of the places that we've learned. That would be fantastic. The other thing is kitchen, cooking and prepping meals, setting the table, letting the kids, help prepare the meals, and of course, cleaning up after meals and really keeping our kitchen on point so that it is functional and that we are eating out as minimally as possible, except for when we actually just genuinely want to eat out. In fact, I think it would be really cool if we could do a segment of food around the world, since those are the two things that we're focusing on as a family. I think that would be really cool. So next is Caroline. And she's dying to get in the frame right now, so come say hi, Caroline. So Caroline is going to be working on, for her core learning, she's going to have her Brain Quest workbook. So she's the Brain Quest workbook, grade 3. So she's going to be working on this. You're a goof.
I don't know why I'm giggling.
She's got the late night giggles. Anyway. So she's gonna be working on her Brain Quest book. This is basically for reading, writing, and math. Those are my main focus areas for core subjects. And honestly, just the bare minimum. Whatever I think that they need to learn to survive in life. And then anything extra is going to be because of their goals that they set and want to achieve. And at that point, they're going to want to learn. And then I also want Caroline to be, and she also kind of sort of wants to be more involved in the kitchen as well. And so I want her to be able to do some cooking, learn how to cook, and help with preparing meals and planning meals, and also with like the grocery shopping, which goes hand in hand with preparing meals. And lastly, I want her to teach her brothers things. Anything that she knows, I want her to help teach her brothers. So whether that's counting or ABCs or tying their shoes or reading to them and so on. Anyway, and then for Grayson, I have his Brain Quest workbook too in the PreK, which we're gonna do very casually because he's 4 and mostly just didn't want him feeling left out. We really need to get down his counting he's been struggling with. We've started this book, which I used for Caroline, which is Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And I got this off of Amazon. Actually got them all from Amazon. I'll link all of them down below. I've noticed he's been catching on with this so much quicker than counting. And I think part of it is because he sees it and he touches it and he says it, and like it's using a lot more of his senses. And with numbers, we've kind of just been counting out loud and sometimes like, you know, picking something up and counting it, but we haven't really done a lot of like the number face and what it looks like. And I think we're gonna try and get more of that visual aspect into it, as well as hands-on, because I know he is a super hands-on learner. With this book, this is kind of what it looks like. It has like a script in it. So like what's in red is what you say to the child, and what's in black you read in your mind. And I think because I've done this with Caroline as well, and I did start doing it with Grayson just as it is, but I think seeing all of those words starts to make them a little bit more overwhelmed. So what I mean, it still works great because it works. But what I've started doing is taking one of these notebooks, because they do actually have to practice writing the sounds as well. Grayson doesn't quite have that dexterity down yet though, so we're also just kind of practicing, you know, some touch pull downs and touch pull over. So just lines, and then, you know, he can practice that too, but I'm more concerned about him trying to get these lines straight rather than getting these to look good. I don't think that's quite on his level yet. Anyway, so I write the sounds up top that we can practice, and I still have the book open that I'm reading from, but this way it takes out all of that little scripting out of his sight so that he doesn't start getting overwhelmed by it. And then he can practice the writing on the same page and still see them up here. I think I got this from Walmart, maybe. If I'll find a link for it and post it down below as well. Lastly, for Grayson, just hands-on everything. Whatever I'm doing, let him help, as irritating as it can be sometimes, because sometimes I just like doing things by myself, and I also complain about doing everything by myself. The reality of it is I want other people to do it without me having to do it as well and not having them hold me back or slow me down. But anyway, so I'm gonna be better about letting him help and be hands-on and do things, because that's really how he learns best. Then for Daxton, so he's turning 2 in about 2 weeks. So basically just for him, I mean, we're not doing any curriculum obviously because he's 2. But just like sensory activities, hand strengthening activities, and those, you know, for Grayson as well. and independence learning, letting him do things by himself, and me keeping my hands to myself and only helping when absolutely necessary, which is something that I obviously struggle with because I've mentioned that lots of times. In fact, if there's time for a story, there's been tons of times that this has happened, but one in particular that comes to mind is when we were learning about electricity and circuits. I had this cute little thing planned to do. Basically, it was lighting up Christmas lights, a little section, cut off section of Christmas lights with a battery. I think I was more interested in it than the kids were at all. So I was, trying to figure it out, playing around with it and trying to get the lights to illuminate. And I ended up spending all the time on it, and the kids didn't even have any interest in it at all because I had already done it for them. And had I just given them the instructions and let them figure it out, it might have gone a little bit differently. Anyway, that's why I want to be a little bit more hands-off and let them be more hands-on, because it's something that I really struggle with, and I think that I often get in the way of them learning and their own experiences. This is their homeschool, not mine.
You own the homeschool.
I own the homeschool. I own the children. Whoopsh. So that's our curriculum for this upcoming year. And yeah, so if you don't already follow me over on Instagram, go ahead and do that. I post a little bit more of the chaotic stuff over there. And thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Did you just fart in my video?
Sorry.
That's going at the end of my bloopers. Are you laughing at me?
No, it's the video.
Uh-huh. Don't cat.
You're dead meat. You're dead meat.
Girlfriend. Rock on, girlfriend. Girlfriend.